today we're going to talk about what we're going to do for the holidays. I think the problem is that we are focused on buying things, which can be gravely detrimental, is gravely detrimental to the environment. And we're less focused on enjoying the holidays. This is a perpetual theme. But how to make it happen in small ways without going overboard. Some people love to jump into the holiday by going to the city, seeing the tree, going or going to their local temple and watching the lighting of the menorah. Some people who are agnostic or pagan celebrate the coming of winter, the solstice. Everybody has a different way of celebrating, but it gets hectic out there. And so it doesn't matter what the celebration is. It doesn't matter whether you celebrate or not, or what your focus is, what your religion, what your belief, your faith life is. This is a focus, an issue for everyday living. But in particular, since we are here during many holidays, we're going to talk about different things that we can do. What can we do to celebrate the month? And the thing is, I want to begin with the slide presentation because that's how we generally do it. But I want to talk about like what is it that you could do for your holiday that would ensure less stress and less stress on your wallet, because there are things out there that you can do that involve not too much. So let me share my slides with you. Okay. No, that's not where I want to be. So buy less, enjoy more for the holidays. So that is a picture. The reason why I have that picture up, can everybody see that? Can everybody see those?
No, Jackie.
No. So let me try that again. All right. Well, that's unfortunate. Not now?
No.
Okay. Oh, I'm doing it the wrong way. Share my screen. All right. Yay.
Now.
Yay. I knew when I didn't see our little faces and names on the side, I was like, yeah, I don't think they're seeing this. So what we have there is a winter scene from the little park that's near, actually, it's a long park that is parallel to the Bronx River Parkway. And I, as well as several patrons I know, will go out and take walks in the local park. And this is something that I think you can do. I think you can go out to your local areas and visit. One of my favorite places to go and sit and drink my coffee is up in Scarsdale, right where the train station is. There is access. I'm not sure there's access now, but when they're not in the middle of construction, there's access to the river and a bridge and a path. Has anybody seen that? I'm sure you have. So let me move on, because that's my third slide. So what I have here, and at Crestwood, we have a plethora, and I mean a stack. There's a stack to the left and the right of me of books that we have that involve hikes in New York. How many of you taken a hike in New York? So we have Rockefeller State Park to the left. That's just one of the little sites. Anthony's Nose, the Camp Smith Trail, that's to the right. And at the bottom is the Tarrytown Lakes Park, all of which we have in our 50 hikes in the lower Hudson Valley. Again, like, why would this be sustainable? Well, one, we have the book, and you don't have to go out and buy it. You could just borrow it just to flip through and grab some ideas, check it out, then check it out, and then bring it back and make a plan. So in this book, I've taken these 3 things, and that's only 3. There's like 50, and it depends on how far up you want to go. These are not the only 3. There's Rockwood Hall. There's the Bronx River Park Pathway, Bronx River Parkway Path. Say that 10 times fast. So there's a lot to do, just normal walking around, not costing a penny. Now, if you're going to go up somewhere, if you're not going to stay in your local area, it will cost you money to go over the bridge. It'll cost you time. So that'll be time out of your day. And the thing is all you have to do is just make a little plan. There's also the Tarrytown Lakes Park has a drive path around it, but there's also a walking path. And that's not that far away. And it can be accessed through the Bronx River Parkway. Any questions? Before I move on, do you have any questions? Yeah, Liz is joining us. Okay, so like I said, tons of hiking. Hiking in Long Island. 50 hikes in Jersey. I'm not even going to try to pronounce those trails. Kittatinny trails. Walking the Hudson. Daywalker. This one I like, hiking through history in New York. The city alone would take you days to go through and hike all the historical points around the city, just that by itself. Any questions? Let us move on. So places to see. So what I have up here is a picture of the Met. And my favorite exhibit to the right is Willie. Have any of you seen Willie? He's fantastic. He's in the Egyptian wing. Well, it used to be to the right. I'm not sure where he's located anymore. He might. When you walk in the door, I think you could go to the right past the gift shop and see Willie. This will cost you a little bit of money. It is voluntary. If you are a student, bring your student ID. But again, with the Met, there is a voluntary fee. Obviously, they want you to pay the adult fee. But if you're bringing children, that's up to you. You determine what you want to pay. The smart alecky question is, well, can I pay 0 or can I pay a penny? Of course you can. But is that recommended? No. Pay some money. It's a museum. It's mostly free. You're walking around looking at great works of art and great architecture and modern things. So yeah, pay something. Plus, you'll have your travel fee if you're taking the Metro North. If you live here, if you live further up, it'll be a little more expensive, or you drive down. But again, you're not paying a plane ticket. So if you're looking for something to do that is reasonably priced, I would suggest one of the many museums that we have. We have Fotografiska, which is a museum. It's a few years old. and it's all photographs, really great works and stuff. So check it out. For those of you who celebrate Christmas, they have a beautiful, they do the Neapolitan Christmas tree. It's for everyone. They also have several sections of several different faith groups and faith lives all over the museum to celebrate this month and every single month. So I just wanted to let you know, for this particular month, we can celebrate by visiting any of the museums. You can go to the Museum of Natural History. Plus, there's a few sciencey museums you can go to. So there's plenty to do. Any questions? Let's get to this. So how to make it homey? One of the things you can do is by decorating your house, right? I always go for food as the first thing. Of course, there's the hot chocolate right there on the right. So when you're with friends, you have favorite snacks, favorite activities, friends activities, family activities. Hot chocolate is always a great winter drink. We did it at the library. I love to make thick hot chocolate. I will be presenting that recipe and the recipe for the room spray that I made. And what I recommend is that you come to the library to check out some books so that you can take them out and make all of this stuff at home. I have recommended this many, many times, and I'll explain why. Now that we're off of that, am I still sharing my screen? I think I am. Yes. So what I would like to do is talk about one of the things that I like to make when I'm making stuff, things like that, is to talk about the recipes. Okay, so what I'd like to show you now is what I made. I started this yesterday. So this is a room spray. It's made with distilled water. Why would I make a room spray? Who needs to have a room spray? A lot of people do, actually.
And
And
Jackie,
this,
you can stop sharing your screen.
okay. Where is my stop share? I don't know why I have Teams up. Okay. I just love. Well, give me a sec. Oh, so simple. The button at the bottom. Okay. Are we good now?
Okay.
Okay. Room spray. So what I did, I got this off the internet, like I do many things. My friend who isn't here today, Joan, she loves to share, sent me this. What it involves is taking a sprig of a pine tree. It could be right off of, when you have the extra branches on the wreaths. I clipped this off of my tree out my door. I put a couple in here. Then I got some spearmint, put it in there. Then I got some fresh and dried cranberries, and I put them in there. Online, it suggests to put in an essential oil, like peppermint. I already put a mint in there. But to me, to put in an essential oil is now introducing something that isn't natural, something that isn't something that has maybe extra chemicals that you don't know about, are all natural, essential oils toxic? No, they're not. But the problem is with the preservatives that they carry. One of them that I just love to mispronounce. It's in every single soap. Diisothio. That's not going to happen. But I have mentioned it in past Zooms. It is a preservative, and it is found in every single soap that we have. Every Lysol, every the biggest one is Dawn dish soap, and some of the more organic soaps that got bought out by the bigger companies, PSE&G, they carry that. It carries that preservative, and that one has been tested. That one is in several science journals several times a year. By scientists who talk about what are the dangers of that particular preservative, that chemical, and why it's dangerous for breathing, for the skin. When you're washing dishes, especially with Dawn dishwashing soap, when you're washing dishes for so long, by the end of the day, your hands are itchy, you're irritable, and maybe you have a little bit of a cough. Maybe the smell or whatever was getting to you. Yeah, it's probably the dish soap. It could be other factors. I'm just saying that one thing that can be removed from the things that you use should be removed. So this I put together today with all these things, and when you smell it, it smells just, I'm going to bring it in today and we can spray it all over the library. But it smells very piney, and in a day or two, it will pick up the scent of the cranberries. I wouldn't mind throwing a little alcohol or vinegar to preserve it, but again, you wouldn't keep that for a long time, or you keep it in the refrigerator if you want to preserve it over time. Do you have any questions before I move on? Okay, so let's talk about what we're going to do in terms of so that is one of our that's one of our crafts that we're going to talk about. I'm going to give away pieces of it so that you can start it on your own. Yeah, the spray, this particular spray will only stay good out of the refrigerator. I'd give it a week. Given the fact that you put pine in, pine tends to preserve very, very, very well, and especially when it's mixed with the cranberries. Probably sticking a little bit of salt would be a solution. Where I got this from, the website that my friend sent it to me, didn't mention salt, but I would assume that salt would be a good preservative. If you keep it in the fridge, it will probably last for about 2 to 3 weeks. As long as none of it goes moldy. I don't see the dry cranberries going moldy. And I have never seen cranberries, unless they're cooked, go moldy very quickly. They just don't. That's why they, when they harvest cranberries, they harvest them from a lake, they put them in a bin. It's maybe a month before you see them. So they last a very, very long time. And pine is incredibly resilient. It's things like, I wouldn't trust like strawberries because it's got a high sugar content. And while cranberries have some sugar, the pine would potentially offset that. The mint, I don't know. I would imagine that's why the person who put this together said, oh yeah, put peppermint essential oil. Leave out the peppermint. Oh, and I could have put 2 cinnamon sticks in. I forgot the cinnamon sticks, or maybe I didn't. You can use cinnamon sticks as well to add to that scent. and you have what they call the scent of Christmas. Now that's going to take a day to get really, you know, to soak in there, to have all those scents together, mix in the water. Personally, I really like to throw alcohol in it, but it's probably not a good idea. Plus, that's not good to breathe in, but it would preserve it. So salt, I would preserve it with salt. Any other questions? Let's move on. So we were talking, speaking of distilled water. This is not, don't look at the commercial thing. I got this from a friend who has a homemade, a distiller at home. They're great. They're great to have because distilled water takes out impurities. It takes out dirt, any kind of sediment, and makes the water pretty pure. But it also takes out fluoride, which we need for our teeth. Also not great to be drinking, but it has saved our dental bills. Distilled water is good for any kind of craft, any kind of cleaning. So yes, distilled water. So on top of the Christmas hat, on top of that, for in terms of what to do for Christmas, like I do every year, one of the activities you can do is pull together some cloth. I like this Christmas cloth. I got it from Joann's. And when you get your packages together, when you get your presents all together, come together and wrap them from the cloth that you buy. Now, I bought it from Joann's, but you don't have to buy it. Any kind of cloth or shirt that you're getting rid of, you can use as a package. And you can use raffia for ribbon. I know a lot of people like the curling ribbon, but curling ribbon is plastic. And plastic isn't good. It's found in rivers and in the dirt and not good for our environment. So yeah, I would avoid that, and I would take more any string you have around the house. You can also use if you have bamboo in your backyard. I can't believe I'm going to say this because I have bamboo. The bamboo leaves can get very, very long, and in small packages, you could actually use them to wrap up a package. Yes, that came out of my mouth. I can't believe that. Anyway, let's move on. So other activities that you can do that you can enjoy more, buy less, is making hot chocolate. Or mulled wine. How many of you made mulled wine? Any of you? Have you ever had mulled wine? Nobody? Mulled wine? Mulled wine you make very similar to when you mull cider. And the best thing to do with that, you put it in a pot, you heat it up, and you add all your spices. You can add allspice, cinnamon sticks, and we know cinnamon is made from bark. Cloves, you can put a few cloves in. I think if your apple cider is not sweetened, you can put a little brown sugar in it. If you don't have cinnamon sticks, you can sprinkle cinnamon in it. And you can make it a whole family night with hot chocolate, hot cider, and mulled wine, and put on a movie or go for a hike, go walking around your neighborhood. In this neighborhood, and in Scarsdale too, a lot of places are very, very decorated. I don't think one of the pictures I put up was up there, but Scarsdale has a beautiful tree they light up and a menorah. and a creche that they put up, and it looks really, really pretty. And I find that people will come around, sit in the park, and just look at the lights. So that is another way to enjoy your holiday. Pack a lunch, for God's sakes. If you're going to go upstate, which is what I suggested, bring water, bring your own things, pack a little picnic and go out. Just because it's cold out, it doesn't mean you won't be able to take it. Just dress warm, dress for the cold, just for the cold weather. So that, you can stay out more. One of the things I recommend doing is, when you're going for a tree, or you want to use natural branches just to decorate, whether you're celebrating Christmas or not. Let's just say you want to get out. So you want to go out and you want to, go get your own tree. I would recommend that you go to Jones Tree Farm. Jones Tree Farm is up in Connecticut. And you go up and you can cut down your own tree. Now, the problem with trees, with cutting down your own tree, is that you have to dispose it. You have to dispose of it. Yonkers has a very good composting, program. And so for that, I appreciate, that we like to have fresh trees in our house, and it's probably better to not have a fake tree. But if you're going to have a fake tree, keep it and take care of it so that you have it. I just don't recommend them. And that's a hard choice. You could make a choice to not have a tree and just decorate your house very nicely. I can't imagine many people taking that as a choice and saying, well, fine, I won't have a tree. Even I don't make that choice. Although I'm getting close to that. But I do appreciate the fact that the county and the city will compost. They'll compost the trees. And they use the compost. They use it around. So at least in that way, when that tree goes into the ground, it breaks down. So I have a question here. Jones or Jones? Jones, Jone. Jones Tree Farm in Shelton, Shelton. I didn't capitalize, but yes, Shelton, Connecticut. It's a fabulous place, and they're not paying me to recommend their place. Not paying me at all. I go every other year when I can. Sometimes I don't even get a tree. I just walk around, I hike around, I get a wreath, or I get, the long pine swags. So, I like that place. They sell mulled wine. Not that I drink mulled wine, but I do once in a while. It's very festive, and they sell hot chocolate. So it's a fun place to go. People sing. And what's nice is you can take a long hike around that property, that farm, and be alone. You could find places where there's no one. I think last month I recommended Ox Family Farm, and I think they're open for the winter. Ox Orchard. Now, they may have some trees. They're up in Warwick. But yeah, Jones Tree Farm is Connecticut, and Ox Orchard is Warwick in the Hudson Valley. All good places. And I bet you could come up with 5 by the end of the day for you to drive to, hike around, and pay nothing less than coffee, hot chocolate, maybe a sandwich or pizza. or nothing. You bring, at the tree farm, you can bring your own lunch. You're allowed to bring, and you can bring your own saw. And I would recommend, I think they allow you to use a tarp. I know I did, because I had to bring my own tarp. I'm 4'11" and a half. And when I brought my kids a while ago, they were shorter than me. And so the three of us were dragging a giant tree. Well, it wasn't that big. To me, it was giant. Dragging a tree behind us on a tarp. By the end of the day, that tarp had holes in it. It was horrible. It was a cloth tarp. And I'm talking like one of those the heavy cloth, the painter's tarp that isn't plastic. That thing was scratched up very badly, but it was worth it. And I still have that tarp. It's a big mess, but it was great. So those are some of the things you can do to enjoy the holidays, if that's what, if that's what your goal is to do. Last year, what I did is I set the table behind me to give you, sort of a picture perfect, like, you could put plates out and things like that. Not everybody has Christmas plates. Not everybody has like nice, fancy, schmancy china plates. And it doesn't matter. Whatever you have, set it out. If you have reusable plates, as in, porcelain or whatever, it doesn't have to be fine. Put those out so that you're not throwing more out in the garbage. Use your silverware if you have silverware. If you don't, they have utensils that will decompose. Z wanted an experiment to see if the decomposable plates, the ones that say, oh, we decompose, do they decompose? And in fact, they do. The ones that have the green symbol on them, yes, they do. I put that in the ground. We had a display. Currently, we have a jar of dirt where the bottom are almost fully decayed leaves with the undecayed leaves on top. I believe that's on the shelf. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that's another thing you can do, STEM activities. Because before you know it, you'll get through this holiday, and the next thing you're going to be preparing is your spring garden. Of course, it's not here. Think in the present, think in the now. Now is the holiday, and this is your time to gather your thoughts, gather your ideas. Come and take a book out. Diet for a Small Planet. I believe we have that. If we don't, I'm giving the library my copy. This I know we have in the system. The Rise of the American Conservation Movement. Pretty cool read. If nonfiction isn't your shtick, go to the library, particularly the Crestwood Library, and check out our new books in the new section. Check out some old books. We have a remarkable, I wouldn't say 100% complete, but we have a big collection of Colleen Hoover. We have a large collection of yoga books. Of course, James Patterson takes up a wall, happily. So there's a lot you can do in that, go to the library, take out some books. But I'd like to recommend that you go to the library, because we have activities. That's a list. This is Crestwood. And this is in person. Crestwood. The other two are at top. So we have a wide selection of things to enjoy for the holidays. So Hanukkah, beginning Friday, December 1st, we started that celebration. Christmas began on the same day. Kwanzaa, we start that celebration December 15th. New Year's We start to celebrate New Year's. Getting ready for New Year's, December 15th. Today we have pre-cubs of love, people gathering together to make squares of knitted squares to make baby blankets. What a better way to celebrate any holiday, but to make a blanket for a baby. We had Read with Cooper, so we have coming up December holiday storycraft. That's on December 14th. And then we have Friends of Crestwood Library holiday breakfast. That's on the 11th. So all you have to do is just come and check out the things that we have at the library. I mean, a winter concert on the 10th, cozy Crestwood Library home for the holidays. That's December 22nd, and we continue that on. So that's another way of celebrating your holiday, by doing things, by getting active. And the reason why I'm suggesting this is to steer away from the plethora of shopping, the intense pressure we all feel to go shopping. If shopping is your jam, I don't want to interfere with that. But I don't mind suggesting that you do maybe less of it. And if you want to spend your money on doing things, especially if you can afford it. Do some cultural activity, go to the city, go to Yonkers, go downtown. There's always Untermeyer Gardens. They have the lights. They get ready for Christmas very early. So those are not the only places, by the way. You can look up for your culture what you want to celebrate. Of course, it's obvious. I know Christian celebrations because that's what I believe. I also am a practicing Buddhist, so I go to temples as well. The idea is that rather than buying, you go and do, you practice, you be in the moment, you be with your friends or your family, because it is less stress on the environment. Find something to do. If belief is not your thing, learn something, because that's what you have. You have a brain and you have some time. And of course, I'm always advocating to figure out ways that we can pollute less. How can we go about using less plastic? I mean, of course, I suggest the hot chocolate, right? Make your own hot chocolate. It's very difficult to avoid the Starbucks rush. I know, I love Starbucks, but try it once in a while. Do less, buy less, do more. And I don't mean do more as in, oh, great, now here's another thing I have to put on my list. Here's a do more. Sleep. And I didn't put it on my slides because I don't know, but I had Z copy a paper written by a man who just recently won the Nobel Peace Prize. He is a chronobiologist, and I will get his name as soon as humanly possible. Is Rosbach or Nos? I forget the name, but we will. He got the Nobel Peace Prize because he was saying that if you want to be healthier, you get more sunlight. Try to. Oh, hello. That's my cat. So get more sunlight, because sunlight is healthier. It's better for you than electric light at night. Now, can we always accommodate ourselves in that? No, we can't. Winter is the worst. That's why they have vitamin D3. So I just wanted to bring that up because that's one of the ways that we can help ourselves. Sleep and sunlight. Sleep for rest so that we can recharge ourselves, and sunlight so that we can recharge ourselves, and that we can do naturally. Do you mind? Oh, sorry about that. That's the cat. So before I go on, are there any questions? Does anybody have any questions they'd like to give me? Any comments? Any references you would like? Because one of the things that I'm stressing in terms of using less plastic is also, especially now, while I'm saying do more for this particular new sustainable you, I don't mean do more is add more to your stress. I mean do things that involve enjoying yourself during this holiday. That's what I mean. I don't mean sitting back and now making a list of 10 more things that you have to add, that you have to go to. Because as it is, you have family events that you're going to, family parties, whose place are you going for Christmas Eve, whose place are you going for the first day of Hanukkah, what are you doing the last day of Hanukkah? You know, is anybody doing anything in terms of celebrating the solstice? Are there any other get-togethers that you feel obliged to go to, even office parties? I mean, picking things that you enjoy. Thank you, Crestwood Crew. The cat is cute. I have many others. That's my little hobby. So the other thing that we're going to present at Crestwood is volunteering your time. There are several organizations, and we will provide a list, but especially Crestwood Library, the other libraries, and there are shelters that need volunteers or need clothes, food, money at this time that would help these organizations to help people who are at a disadvantage or at a dark place in their life, who need help. And the best thing we can do is either give of our time or give of our money. So we will source up a list, because as the library, we are a place of information, and that's what we're supposed to be providing. So one last thing, I did this last year. Does anybody have any questions about what I mentioned? And yes, these are plastic, but we reuse them every year. Okay, so let's go to the yearly craft. So what do you do? Show of hands, I'll give you a free kit. Not like where I'm not going to give a kit out, but what do we do with toilet rolls and paper towel rolls? Well, anybody? What do we do with our rolls? I'm sure you heard me say this last year. Well, today I came to the end of my paper towel. Bird feeders! Ding, ding, ding! Z gets the chocolate. Very good. You get the chocolate prize. So I came to the end of the paper towel roll and cut it up, right? I didn't have to cut it up, but I decided I would cut it up to make mini feeders. And I discovered sun butter. I happen to have sun butter. You slather one of these rolls with some sun butter, which it is not a nut, it is a seed. It's not a nut butter, it is a seed butter. And or you can use coconut oil, or the least allergenic is Crisco. You put the Crisco around, and then you put a pan or just spread out some seeds on a nonstick surface if you can, and roll the sticky stuff in the seeds, or sprinkle the seeds over the top. Put raffia or some kind of string, not plastic, and you hang it up. And we will be giving out some of these this week. If yeah, because we'll get more rolls. But what's great is if you have your own, we'll give you the seeds in a little bag. So that is a fantastic little little craft to do, especially with the little ones, because they can help out. And while it's messy fun, you can clean up with a moistened terry cloth reusable rag that you can get for 12 for I think $4 at Cornell's. And I would like to say a plug for Cornell's in Tuckahoe. Cornell's was the store who provided Crestwood Library with their first key and their first cleaning setup, brooms and things like that, because I've been going through the archives. So they provided Crestwood with reusable things to clean the library when it first opened in 1926. So I just wanted to share that. Are there any questions? Now let me see. When we have I want to remind everybody that coming up on the 8th, registration required, we have a December Joy Paint and Sip with Erica. That's on the 8th at 3 p.m. So that's coming up this week. And no, I think that's it. And then we have Pre-Cubs of Love in 40 minutes. Let me see. Wait. What's the adult? Oh, we have a lot of adult things. Well, most of them I mentioned. A fun one, and I want to mention this one because this is sustainability. We have a Swifty Gifty party December 15th at, oh my gosh, what time? 3 p.m. on the 15th. And the reason that I'm mentioning it is that we are, so we have the concert on Sunday, December 10th. And I'm mentioning all this because that's what I'm doing today. Today is giving you things to do rather than buy. So stop by. Vision boards at 12 noon on Saturday for adults and teens, even kids. You can do vision boards. Vision boards are very good because they help you. It's like an outpouring of creativity to help you focus on where you're going to go, whether it's financial, sustainable, education, but they're very good. And I recommend the vision boards. They're fun to do. But definitely go to the paint and sip. That's fun. And of course, don't forget color at Crestwood, the 11th and the 18th. And we have for the rest of the month, this one's good. We have a card creation station and you can make your own Christmas card, right? Rather than go out and buy more, we have provided that through, the city, through somebody. I'm not going to say who. The library's providing it. And Z has said, yes. Well, I'm trying very hard to get each of you to realize that you can become more sustainable. It's just one step at a time. Take your first dip. I have ceased. The only thing I do buy that is very toxic is bleach. And only because we're still in a state of COVID. But I do mix it with water and it does dissipate. So there's that. I do make my own floor cleaner. And we have the book for that, Simply Living. It's in the 600s, I think. Don't quote me on that. So I think that's it. And the only thing I wanted to mention was Oh, yeah, we were talking about the Swifty Gifty party. And I would like you to share with us next year. That's a great idea. Z has recommended that you come up with a list of sustainable resolutions for 2024. I'd like to provide a QR code for that. I don't know how we're going to devise that, but definitely let's share with us on compostable paper. Share with us one thing you're going to try to become more sustainable. So let's backtrack to the Swifty Gifty. I'm running out of time, but Swifty Gifty, December 15th. The reason I'm mentioning it is that the new Sustainable You has snuck its way into the Swifty Gifty party because I'm going to be making, wait for it, drum roll, homemade lip gloss. And I will. And there are several kinds of emollients that go into that, and that can be easily put into a lip gloss tube. Mary and Z sourced up the lip gloss tubes. Z came up with this party, and I decided to stick my 2 cents in with lip gloss, and I'll be experimenting with how to get colors. Believe me when I tell you, cocoa. Oh, the kids came up with the party idea. Homemade cocoa, unsweetened, you can use as a colorant. I have others. It'll probably be somewhere in the brown pink family. So that's one of the things. They'll also be making the bracelets, the ones that Taylor Swift loves. I'm sure we're going to be doing a few other crafts for that gifty party. But what's good about that is children are coming up with ways to make gifts rather than run out and buy tons of things. You do have to buy supplies, but the thing is, I mean, not at our party, but the thing is I make my own soap, not from scratch. I do a melt and pour, but that's another way that I can avoid having to buy so many different soaps for my kids. So anyway, come to us with your ideas, and we should be, thank you, Z. Yes, soap is a good gift making idea. I don't know when we're meeting for January, but in January, we'll begin the new Sustainable You as a seasonal Zoom, but we will be meeting in the library for in-person sustainable crafts. We'll be doing, and it's not just crafts, it's learning how to make, how to do, how to become more sustainable. And that's it. Z, is there anything you'd like to add to this fun time? Okay, well, I think we will.
Jackie, I just want to add, thank you so much for providing all of us with wonderful Sustainable You ideas for this 2023 year. It's been a really great way to be more mindful. And I just want to personally thank you and give you the thanks from the staff as well as the community.
Oh, you're welcome. It's been loads of fun. And I have to, if I don't pick her up, she will bark her way through the ending. So
yes, that's good because we want to promote, we have a resident dog biscuit bar, and we also are working on a stick library for the spring. And we also want to tell people that we have Cooper, Read to Cooper, on a monthly basis, sometimes bi-monthly. So thank you so much, everyone. And thank
and the food donation, the donations.
donation, right. So we're going to be collecting through December 15th. We're going to be taking donations for canned gifts of food for the Yonkers shelter as well as the Crestwood Cat Coalition. And we can accept toys, blankets, and more, right? Snacks too.
Food, treats,
Yes.
pads and things like that.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, and have a great holiday, everyone.
Take care, everyone. Be well, stay well.
Bye.
Till we meet
Bye.
again.